All right, and welcome to Geeking This, episode 7. Now, this one is we're going to make this a special bonus episode because we're going to be talking about Virgin Years, but also we're going to talk about the movies we've been watching this summer, and there's a lot out there. We also may be talking about Stranger Things, but we will see how that goes. I am Peter, also known as Mr. Brightside, and next to me is my geek brother, Mr. Tony.
Hey, Peter.
Hey, how's it going, Val?
Pretty good, man.
So lots of things out there. I do have 2 virgin ears for you to get out of the way. I'm pretty sure they're virgin, but let me know if they're not. Just
Okay.
a refresher, when we say in our segment, say this is a virgin ears, these are geeky subjects and things. It could be video games, comics, shows, or anything in pop culture that, hey, we think our friend might like, and they might not have heard of it before. That's why it's a virgin ear.
Yep.
So, I have 2, and they're 2 free games. Do you like free games, sir?
You know what? I don't have a lot of experience. I only have played the bigger ones. And my relationship with those bigger free games are pretty good. I mean, I like the content. I think where I kind of stray a little is, the fact that they're free means you have to pay. They have to pay for something, which is usually the DLC stuff.
Yes.
And that's usually where I'm like, I kind of don't spend too much time because if it's free, I just want to be able to play the free stuff,
You
period.
want to get going. I do. I agree with that. I like the only model that I like. I guess Fortnite does a good job at this, but still, their prices are ridiculous if you want to customize stuff. I like that when free to play games, they have DLC that you can buy that just it doesn't add anything to the game itself, the gameplay rather. It's just custom,
Cosmetic.
and yeah, and that's fine.
I'm fine with that too. I guess where I was going is if you have a free to play game, but the only way you can win, or rather, easier way to win and have a significant advantage over others is if you spend money. And
Yeah, I think there's games that fall under this. Probably Dota 2, the mobile games, the online battle games. Definitely fall into that because you can buy characters who have special, abilities and stuff.
yeah,
A game like that where you have to pay for a DLC character that actually makes the game easier. That's probably not, no bueno.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. So the one that I'm thinking of them, one of them is a free to play, and I'll get into that right now. It's called Realm Royale. Have you heard of this one?
No.
So Realm Royale, I want to say, is one of the easiest battle royale games. It's really good for beginners. I like to think of it as it's kind of a PUBG cross between Fortnite, but set in a medieval fantasy type environment.
Sorry, cut off there. What was the name of the game again?
Realm Royale, Realm Royale.
Oh, okay, great. And is
Yeah,
this
so
what platforms is this on?
it's on everything. And just
Oh,
recently
cool.
got released to Nintendo Switch as well.
Oh, sweet.
So yeah, so this one, in Fortnite you build stuff, and PUBG you don't. This one's kind of like PUBG where you don't build anything. It's pure battle royale. You're just trying to survive and collect things. Uh, there's some unique mechanics to this one. There's character types. So it's medieval, so you can be a warrior, a mage, an assassin, or a ranger, and they all have different abilities, but not so much as like the abilities make it so much easier to play, rather than they're kind of similar abilities to one another. Like, whereas the warrior, one of his abilities would leap into the air, and then for the mage's ability would just be to fly through the air. So they're different, but not like one has an advantage over the other or anything.
hmm This is an obviously the name kind of gives away that it's a rail type game, where the circle kind of encloses you.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, it's really. There's no end to these dang games.
There really isn't. This is one of the better entries, I would like to say. And I think one of the better entries for beginners too. It's just so much easier. And there's a thing in the game called a forge. And what happens is, so you don't have to pick up ammo at all. You just pick up a weapon and you're good to go. You don't need
Okay.
any ammo for it. So that simplifies things. What also simplifies things, if you find extra loot, you don't really have a backpack. You just have a slot for a weapon, a secondary weapon, and your 2 abilities. And the way you get abilities is you pick them up actually, and they're based on your class. So when you open a chest, you get abilities based on your class. So if you find extra ones, say you're good with the loadout you have, if you find extra ones, you hit a button. I think it's like right thumbstick, and you turn them into shards. And these shards you can put into a forge, and there's many forges on the map. And in the forge, you put the shards in like X amount, and you get it forges rare abilities or rare weapons.
Okay.
But also, this when it's forging, it takes a amount of time, and these forges actually show up on the map, so people can congregate there. And if you're forging, people can come and try to kill you and take the thing that you forged.
You gotta be quick.
Yeah, it's just that it's a really easy battle royale. It has some interesting mechanics in it. I think it's just like the perfect one for beginners.
For beginners.
Yeah, totally. PUBG also is kind of good for beginners too, because just something about the Fortnite and can build everything, and just that takes a lot of practice, I guess.
Yeah, it sure does, man. I'll tell you, I haven't played much, but every time I play, I get kind of frustrated. Maybe that's just because I'm out of the loop and everybody else is leagues ahead of me.
Yeah, I
So,
don't know. That's like showing our age, because me and Tony are more old school gamers, or more you just shoot at the guy enough and he dies kind of person, kind of gamer.
right.
But
Yeah,
then you got these
not the
youngins building
build up.
advanced structures in like a matter of minutes by like
That's
blocking
what I
bullets.
did. I know. It's like, what the hell? Whatever happened to just point and shoot games, man? I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm all for innovation, but some of the shit is just outrageous.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
All right.
So that's a free game. I also have another free game. Do you have Amazon Prime at the moment?
I do.
Awesome. So are you aware of the Twitch loot system?
No, not really.
Oh, okay. So hopefully you have yourself a Twitch account. Twitch, of course, is the streaming site. But if you have a Twitch account and you link it to your Amazon Prime, there's a thing called Prime Loot on Twitch, and it's just free stuff that the kind folks at Twitch give you for having Prime each month. And usually it's like you get stuff for games, like the customization stuff we're talking about. So you get in-game like customizations for these free-to-play games, and sometimes not. Sometimes it's for like Black Ops 4, or like they just had on there a Red Dead 2 like Twitch bundle for free with the Prime Loot thing. And
But
so
what
you
does
can
it?
what's that?
What does it include? What does it include? So for the Red Dead, for example.
The Red Dead, I think you get like a horse skin, or like a different horse. You get some clothes and outfits, just like those sort of customization options.
Oh, that's cool, and that's for PC only.
No, that's actually so. If you have, most things are like linked up to your accounts across the board, especially like games like Fortnite. You can link all your accounts from like Switch to like Xbox to PC. And
Yeah.
so, for example, I play a game called Smite. They just had on their free hero to use in Smite for Twitch Prime loot. And you go and you claim that, and then that hero you can play across any platform.
Wow, that's actually really cool.
Yeah, so not only does it have these like unlockable bundles and stuff and for customization, and sometimes it's like a hero, like I said, or like maybe even weapons when it comes to I want to say like PUBG or something. But also Twitch has its own launcher, and it also has its own set of games as well. And they give you completely free games, and these are good, high quality games through the launcher you can install on your PC and play for free.
Huh. It's pretty cool. So what would you say is probably like one of the best things that you got out of this?
I'll tell you what, right now, so they release them each month. And I always look and peruse them to see which ones I want to install. This one, we were just talking about Banjo Kazooie last podcast. This one is
Yeah.
a game called Ukulele, which is a little independent game in the spirit of Banjo Kazooie, and it has great art style. It's like if Banjo Kazooie was made nowadays.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Wow. A full game.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think what other games I got. Believe I have the Devil May Cry remaster on there. Um,
Wow.
there's a lot of free games. Actually, let's pop into my library right now.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna activate this right now. I
And
had no
while I'm
idea.
looking at this, how is your Fortnite adventures going, by the way?
I kind of just stopped. I haven't played probably since those couple times we played. I'm telling you, man, so it's not just that I don't feel up to par to play that game because everybody's like whooping my ass, but it's more important. I have such a big backlog of games that I need to get through that I'm kind of more interested in that I actually paid money for that I like feel like, ah, damn, I'm doing myself a disservice if I don't play those first. And it's always time too. So
Yeah, I hear you. There's a lot of free to play out there that like yeah, I don't want to invest my time in just because I want to play the games that I bought with my actual money. Come to think of it, one of the cooler things that Twitch Prime Loot has given away, I think just recently, hopefully it hasn't ended yet. They just gave away a whole year subscription of Nintendo Switch Online.
yeah, I just saw that on the splash screen right now, so I'm logging in desperately.
Yes. So what you do is you link it to your Nintendo account. So you
Uh-huh.
link your Twitch account to your Nintendo account, and then right then you can claim 3 months free right then and there. But then they make you
Uh-huh.
wait. I think it's like another month or so, like 30 days of you having Prime, Amazon Prime, and then
Uh-huh.
after those 30 days, you can claim your one full year. So I guess it's a year and 3 months.
Holy crap, that's awesome.
Yeah, so my subscription doesn't end until like 2020 or something ridiculous now.
What? Oh God. Well, I'm trying to sign up now, so it's a
Cool.
hell
So
of a deal.
yeah, if you don't know about Twitch Prime, Loot, definitely take a look at it, especially if you have Amazon Prime. If you're already paying for Amazon Prime, it's just free stuff for you. So
Exactly.
of the other games I got, a Brutal Legend, I got that one. That's an older game. I got some newer games. Crossing Souls is an RPG type game. It's pretty sweet. Gone Home, lots of independent games. Hotline Miami, I got both of those, 1 and 2 from Amazon, from Twitch Prime. Let's see, some older games, Metal Slug, that kind of thing, Samurai Showdown.
Cool, man.
Let's
This is
see.
a great version of yours. I kind of like had heard rumbles about this program, but because I thought it was associated with PC games only, I kind of just always ignored it. Shame on me.
Yeah, so it is PC games that you're getting for free, but the bundles and the customization stuff, that you can use that across the board.
Yeah. Well, I just kind of care online, and that's really what I'm just
Yeah,
trying to.
that one was pretty badass when they announced it. So yeah, a
I was
lot of
trying to
independent
play.
games, a lot of old games that I got in my library. Maybe I'll screenshot it or something and post it. to the podcast.
Cool. Yeah. Sweet. Hell yeah, this is awesome.
Well, good. I'm glad. See, that's what we discover here on this podcast. Something that we don't know. That
We get value out
I
of this
have a wealth of
podcast.
information, and yeah, I'm sure Tony has a wealth of information that I don't know about, and then we just try to share that to each other.
Alrighty.
Give it back. So yeah, Twitch Prime Loot. I believe if you go to twitchtv.com/Prime Loot, you can just see everything there.
Hell yeah.
And if you
Cool,
want to
man.
play the
Good
games, you have
deal.
to download the launcher.
Yeah, no problem. Good
Sweet.
deal.
Alrighty. So get those Nintendo Switch Online claimed, sir. So Tony saw Spider-Man Far From Home. I
Oh
did
boy,
not.
did I.
I am a bad Marvel person.
Oh no, I mean, it's way too early. It just came out on Tuesday, and it's been a crazy 4th of July weekend, so I'm sure it's freaking packed, dude.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, and I felt more of an urgency to see Endgame, of course. Should I feel urgency to see this as soon as possible?
Okay, should you see this as soon as possible? Well, you know what's interesting about this movie, besides all the Spider-Man stuff, obviously it's a Spider-Man movie, it kind of does feel like an epilogue to Endgame a little bit.
Great, that's a great statement right there.
It does carry over. Actually, yeah, dude. So like Endgame is its own contained film, beginning to end. Leaves you with some questions. And the brilliant thing about this movie is they answer some of those questions actually. And so
Wow,
it's
really?
yeah, it's super cool. Like again, this is like separate from the Spider-Man stuff, which is of course I'm batshit crazy for. But as its own little container to tell you the story in continuation of what happens in Endgame, it's cool. So when you ask the question, is it urgent for you to see it? It's like, well, I mean, it's urgent in the sense of depending on your curiosity level. Like if you really want to have these answers, in terms of what happens after Endgame, then this is the movie for you. And now, if you're a Spider-Man fan like me, then you're gonna want to watch it regardless of
Yeah,
the Endgame
definitely.
stuff. Um, so yeah, that's a roundabout way of
I
saying
think
yeah.
you got the perfect analogy there when you said it was like an epilogue to a book. So if Endgame is the book, sometimes you don't read the epilogue, but if you really are into the book, you kind of read it and see how the characters are doing.
Right. How they transform afterwards. It's you know what? Since I go to a lot of shows, I would say Homecoming is the encore for a big big band that's just closed.
Damn, perfect. We're tossing lots of analogies at you, folks. That's great. So yeah, I am a webhead, so I would definitely have been wanting to see it. Say for the non-Spider-Man fan, who maybe even didn't even see Homecoming and they skipped this one, are they missing out on a lot?
Are they missing out on the love? They skip out Homecoming. Um, you could walk into this movie and still be completely entertained and understand what's going on. There's not a ton of correlation between Homecoming, which is kind of nice because it's a little separate. And yeah, I think you would be. I think if you okay, so let's put it this way. I think Tom Holland has appeared in 5. I want to say 4 or 5 Marvel movies. Let's line them up. The first one was Civil War,
Civil War. Yep.
Infinity War, right?
Yep.
Infinity War, definitely Endgame,
Homecoming.
Homecoming, obviously, and then this one. Okay, great. So it is 5. Okay, out of those 5, if you want your classic Spider-Man, like, when you think of Spider-Man, you have a certain connotation because we've already had 2 previous Spider-Men, Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. So out of the 5 movies, I feel like this is the one that's most kind of like Spider-Man-ish.
Wow, really?
It's probably my favorite Spider-Man movie, other than the animated one, Spider-Verse. Most definitely.
Wow, that's a
Like
great way to think about
it's
it.
gosh, man. Like the great thing about the MCU is they really know how to take. Goddamn, they do a great job of
Take
taking like.
all our money.
Well, yeah, they do that really well. But no, besides that, they do a really good job of taking images and storylines and ripping them straight from the comic book
Oh
and
yes,
applying
of
them
course, of
perfectly
course.
onto the screen. And so it's like there was a scene in there where I was like, my God,
Damn.
like 8-year-old me, man, would have never believed what he was seeing is like in live action. It was straight from like 1990s Spider-Man animated show on Fox. It was like straight up from that, but like applied beautifully onto a live adaptation.
Did it give you the same tingles as seeing everyone assemble in Endgame?
Uh, well, I mean that was its own kind of special moment. It was you. It's like apples and oranges. This one gave me like I guess what I'm really trying to say, this one made me feel like this is a freaking great Spider-Man movie. Like this is Spider-Man, classic Spider-Man. Again, out of all the 5 other
Mm,
instances we saw him, he comes into his own fully. He, he's one of the weaknesses I think of the MCU Spider-Man prior to this movie was I felt like he was leaning a bit much on Tony.
yes,
That it almost felt like Spider-Man in the previous four films was more of a side hero, like the Robin to Tony,
yes.
a little bit.
I
And then
feel like Homecoming. After I've been watching lots of Spider-Man, including Into the Spider-Verse, just this past week. But rewatching Homecoming, I feel like it is totally an origin story. They just did it in a different sort of way.
right, exactly, because right. So the origin story that we've come to know from other movies is Uncle Ben gets killed and then he gets bit by the spider and then he comes into his own accord after accepting the fact that sometimes you just gotta move on after tragedy strikes, and it's not necessarily your personal responsibility. But what is your responsibility is to use the powers and gifts you have to be able to do something good with them. This one is
Yes,
more of a he already has the power, and so how does he grow into the Spider-Man? There was one joke when he started called him like, "Are you Spider Boy?" And that's really what he felt like in the previous movies. He was kind of like this
mm,
teenage, just a young kind of kid who's grappling with these great powers, but now I think this is kind of the phase into like, yes, he is becoming a man. In the true
perfect.
sense,
And the
he's
end at Homecoming kind of alludes to that, and he really becomes sort of the Spider-Man after that.
and he's kind of forced to almost because of Endgame, obviously.
Yeah, that too.
Kind of forces it upon him. Like he literally cannot rely on Tony anymore, and he's got to become his own individual thinker. He's got to use his own intellect, and he's got to recognize the fact that he is impacting others. Um, and that's Peter Parker right there. Like the classic struggle of like trying to defend those you care about, and then walking away from the gig. But then again, it's like, well, shit, like I can't because I have this power. So it's much more traditional Spider-Man. Um,
Sweet.
Last thing I will say is I texted you this, and for our listeners out there, okay, guys, first of all, of course, stay away from the spoilers, but more
Yeah,
importantly, so there's two post-credit scenes. The first one is a mid-credit scene. That one, I declare it's mandatory to watch in order to finish the film. Like it's not a finished film without that. You have to watch it to like truly get like it's it's a crazy ass cliffhanger that is integral to the storyline. So stay for that.
sweet.
Super awesome. It's gonna blow your mind. I guarantee it. The second thing is after the credits roll completely at the end of the film, this one is also a holy crap moment, and
Great.
it actually completely changes the movie completely, which is so crazy that they just do this within like 2 seconds of the last scene. But you could Google this one and get the same like whoa effect, but you're not gonna get that whoa effect for the mid credit scenes. You're just gonna spoil it, and it's not gonna mean as much if you were to like actually watch it.
Damn, I already have my own fan theories before going into this. Um,
So I'm curious, man. Like, and I'm gonna not read, so I'm not gonna give anything away. But can you
right.
share
You
at
want
least
me
one of
to?
them?
Yeah, you want to? Okay, definitely. So, man, really quick, just about the post credits. Does that tie into the bigger Marvel
Yes.
plan and where they're gonna go
The
next?
the last one. Well, the very last one definitely impacts the entire Marvel universe. But interestingly, you don't know where the hell it's going. You just know,
What?
wow,
That's
this means
cool.
this means something. I just don't know what it means yet.
Sweet, perfect. Yeah. Okay. Great. So so what we'll do here on this podcast, I'm going to give you my fan theory. I'll go watch the damn thing before our next podcast, and then we'll see how my fan theory evolves.
Okay, yeah, how it
All
lines
right.
up.
So I know who Mysterio is from the comics. You know, I know who Mysterio is. We can't really trust what Mysterio is saying. He puts a lot of special effects. All his powers are special effects. So what I'm thinking, somehow, I don't know how. So in the trailer, talking about the multiverse, how this Mysterio is from a different multiverse. I call bullshit. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's not even telling the truth about the multiverse somehow. So maybe these elementals that he's fighting aren't really there, or aren't, or something he created, or whatever. Then Peter has to fight Mysterio, who he is as a person, because we know he's a bad guy. But then I think in the post credits, they were like, well, that Mysterio was saying that he wasn't from the multiverse or whatever, but there is a multiverse. And that's sort of the post credit scene as it ties in.
Great theory. I'm not gonna say anything. Um, but I will ask one question back to you, which is, where did you hear about the elementals? Where'd you pick that one
Oh,
up
they're
from?
they're on the trailer. They're in the trailer.
Okay, because I remember seeing the trailer and I saw the water monster guy, and
I saw water, fire. Um, yeah, that's about it. Water and fire. And then they talk
okay,
about the elementals and the multiverse in the trailers.
okay, great, great, okay, cool. So, um, yeah, that's a really good theory.
So I guess, damn. So I'm curious. You don't have to answer this question, or this is me pondering. I'm curious if we will see Mysterio's true colors.
say that again. True colors.
Yes, I am curious if we'll really see who he is, because we know Mysterio is evil across the comic books. Bad guy, bad guy, bad guy.
Yeah, right.
Or I might be totally wrong, and it could be like sort of a DC alternate universe type thing where there's like a good Lex Luthor in a suit. Could be something like that, and that's pretty cool. But I'm still skeptical. I think Mysterio is still a bad guy.
What I want you to do is,
Just probably put all the knowledge of Mysterio that I have in my mind already out the door.
I want to do that. I would. I almost want to see your reaction, like throughout the movie, because it's a literal roller coaster.
I
Like,
was almost gonna ask you if you wanted to see it with me today.
oh man, I wish I could. Damn, I would have totally loved to, but I got a meeting today. Damn it.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah. Damn it. But okay, what was I gonna say? What was that? What was that?
So it's
So
really a
you
roller
co-
coaster ride.
you have I had my like similar to yours, almost damn nearly identical to your expectations and hypotheses. So you walk in with those, right? And then sometime throughout the movie, you're like, okay, interesting. So I didn't know that's the way they're gonna take it, but that's cool. That's cool. I'll roll with the punches. And then something happens later on in the movie, and you're like, huh, that's weird. And then even further down the movie, you're like, what? So it's a like your expectations keep morphing and changing, and by the end of the movie, you don't know what the hell to believe. You're just, what the hell? And that's
Damn.
great.
I
It
also
really,
wanted to ask you this. So with a oh shit meter, Is from 1 to 10, how high is it?
The movie?
Yeah, the movie in whole.
Uh, F. Oh my god. Okay. All right. Let's do this. I'm biased, but I'll give it to you straight. 10 out of 10 for the whole movie.
Damn.
However, the mid-credit scene is a level 20 out of 10. Holy shit.
Oh crap.
Like,
Damn, that says a lot.
yeah, like, so I was looking at some of the reviews after I saw the movie, and a common theme was like, I didn't like Tom Holland for X, Y, and Z,
What? Really?
but and other, yeah, there's a lot of people that felt that way about the previous
What?
films. About
Really?
Yeah, it was weird, even in the Spider-Man subreddit, which was super shocking. But the majority consensus is no. This is like the Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man. Period.
Perfect. Great.
And
Glad we can lay that down to rest.
and it's everybody keeps talking about them. It's crazy. And what does it mean? More importantly, and I'll leave that, and I'll finish there. What does it mean?
I think in the trailer they throw around that this is universe. Is it 626 or I forget what the number is?
Yeah, I forgot what the number is, but they do say something along those lines.
And it coincides to what we know from the comics.
Yes.
So goddamn. So damn, it's a big piece of the puzzle. I would say this is kind of mandatory watching for after Endgame. The Russo brothers have claimed that this is the end of the Infinity Saga.
That makes sense. It totally feels like it. It totally feels like it. Oh, and let me add one more thing. So this is a rumor mill, so everything you're gonna hear next is definitely not confirmed, but it's fun to speculate. I've heard that what they want to do with the Spider-Man films is actually make it into a 9-part series.
Yeah, I think Holland is. This is only the beginning of Holland's contract, and he's down for a lot more.
Yeah, so I heard that the way they want to do it is they want to split it into 3 mini trilogies. So we have almost the first trilogy would almost be complete with the next subsequent film that comes out, and that would be focused entirely on Peter growing up in high school and coming into his own. And then the
So I
next
would
series would be
say,
his college days.
okay, perfect.
And then after that, I don't know. I guess it would just be like adult Spider-Man.
All right, fan theory time. Put on your fan theory hats. So even
All right.
after just the things you're telling me, I'm already coming up with theories. Having not seen the movie. So I would say the first trilogy, what it seems like it's building up to. So this is a trilogy including Homecoming, Far From Home, and another Spider-Man movie coming down in the pipeline. I would say this trilogy is the Sinister Six trilogy because
Ah,
we have Vulture. Vulture knows Scorpion in Homecoming,
yes.
and bam, in Far From Home we got Mysterio. The Mysterio
Mm-hmm.
has been part of the Sinister Six, and then
Yes.
3, boom, the Sinister Six are going to converge on Peter.
That's a freaking fantastic theory. It would be freaking. I love it. We're missing the big ones, right? So that would mean
Yes,
they would
yeah.
have to be introduced into the next movie. Jesus. Okay, but see, that's great and everything. How do you top that with the next trilogy in
Then
college?
okay, I got it. So and wait, maybe I don't have it. No, I do have. So Sinister Six trilogy. God, what's another big moment?
Oh shit. I'd be crazy if they did this, but a storyline I've always wanted to see them adapt is the Clone War saga.
Oh, okay. Oh, perfect. Uh, so next trilogy, Clone Wars, and then I would think that the ending trilogy has to be a Spider Verse trilogy.
Of course, I think that's what everybody's speculating. That like the last God, can you imagine? I just hope I make it to that day when I'm alive to be able to
I'm
see
sure.
our. We've talked about this ad nauseum, like so much. Then I feel like every year it's getting a little closer, a little more real. and
Yeah,
I think
that's what I try to tell people too. Like, and everyone who like talks to me and who's interested in the subject, I'm like, just you wait. I think it's coming down.
I think so. People at the top stupid. They probably read the
No,
crazy fan theories. They see the
exactly.
fan art, so they know we want it. They know there's a burning desire, and shit, they know that we're willing to throw money at them to be able to see the classic three Spider-Man plus one more come out. That would be sick. Wait, is it three? Andrew,
Yeah,
Toby, and
and
Holland.
Holland. Yep.
Yeah. Now, to do that, you would presumably also want to have a Miles Morales version. Who do you think would be a fun person to cast as Miles live action?
Man, that is a great question. I wish I knew of somebody. Originally, I would say Donald Glover, but he even plays Aaron Davis, who is his uncle.
He's a little too old.
Yeah, and he's a little too old.
I
Man,
was gonna.
oh, you
I
know
was.
who would be great? Wait,
Hmm.
he's kind of old too. The actor who plays Finn in Star Wars.
Oh yeah, that'd be sick. But you're right. He is. He's a bit old too. What's but to give him credit, his name is John Boyega.
Yeah, there, John Boyega.
What What about Michael B. Jordan? A
Oh,
bit.
perfect. That's perfect too. But I wonder if there's a thing of where you can't play too many Marvel characters in the MCU. I don't know.
Wait a minute. Wasn't Chris Evans like the Torch or whatever, and also Captain America?
Yeah, but that's different. That's different. It's franchises almost because that one was Fox for Fantastic Four.
But isn't Michael B. Jordan gonna play somebody else in the MCU?
He's already what is T'Challa's brother's name? He was already
No, no,
that guy, the cousin. And
no. But like somebody else, like moving forward.
oh, did they say that? Is that in the room?
Oh no, he same thing. I'm sorry, I was wrong. He played Fantastic Four.
Oh yeah, and he was in Fantastic. So he was in Fantastic Four, and he was the Killmonger in Black Panther.
You're right. You're right.
So I think because he is Killmonger, I don't think he can be anything else.
Yeah, you're probably right. Maybe. So anyway, there's got to be somebody out there to play the
Yeah,
role. They need to have
totally.
him.
We're not casting right
I
now.
know. No way, Jose.
Anyway, yeah, totally. Um, you know what? I would give, even though she's not blonde, I would give Gwen Stacy to Haley or Spider Gwen to Haley Steinfeld.
Who's she from?
So she is the actress from True Grit. She plays the little girl, and she's been in several things. That was like her first major thing, and she's been in several things after that, including she voices Gwen Stacy in Into the Spider Verse.
Oh, she's the well. Yeah, she's perfect then.
Yeah,
Just
I was
throw
like,
a blonde
just
wig on her.
yeah, exactly. Dye her hair blonde, and she's good to go.
Although I gotta say, it would be. I mean, you know what? To continue with the premise that it's a multiverse, um, you could always do the same Gwen Stacy from the Andrew Garfield days,
Oh yeah, yeah. She God, what's her name? I'm
right?
missing out on actresses' names now. Emma Stone. Emma Stone's
Emma
brilliant.
Stone. That would be
Yeah,
sick.
toss it back to her. That's a Gwen, and then we can have that same moment like into the Spider Verse,
Are
where
you gonna say what I
Andrew
think you're gonna say?
Garfield sees freaking Emma Stone, and they're like,
What are we doing here?
yeah,
No, and
exactly.
then you could also. So okay, let's do this. In the multiverse film, you have at least two characters from the original film. So for example, it would be Toby and Kirsten
Oh wow, that's
as
cool.
MJ. That'd be cool. And then you can have Gwen, like somehow she comes back to life because it's a different multiverse.
Perfect.
And Andrew, and then you have for Tom, obviously, it'd be him and probably. Well, wait a minute. Can you have two MJs? I guess you could. It's a multiverse.
Yeah, totally can.
So there's our film cast for the Untitled
There's our
20.
film cast and our it's funny, it's like the underpant gnomes in South Park because we're like First trilogy, Sinister Six. Second trilogy,
Oh yeah.
Third trilogy, definitely Spider-Verse.
That was a funny ass. Yeah. Coming to you sometime soon in a theater near you in the year 2040.
Damn, goddamn. But that'd be exciting. And I wonder if they would ever. The Clone Saga is such like a deep cut comic book thing. I wonder if they would ever do it or just go into the Spider-Verse bare bones without the
Yeah,
clones.
I don't know, man, but fucking, we need a Scarlet Spider in live
And
action.
those are so interesting. And when we read the comics, me and Tony read the comics, and we podcasted about it. And you can listen to that later. But when we were doing that, I just forgot about all these clones and their stories. So it was really cool to get reconnected with those characters.
Hell yeah, it would.
Damn, and yeah, we need that to
So,
happen.
switching gears a little bit, did you have any? Because we said we were going to talk about the movies we saw.
Yeah, we're
Is
gonna
there
talk about
anything?
other movies. I'm sorry, Spider-Man took a lot.
No, it's all right. Just curious if you have thoughts on any movie that you saw. I want to give an opportunity for you to speak. 'Cause I feel like I've been hogging the
Okay,
mic.
so how about we'll switch the hosting chair. You'll be the host. I'll be the interviewee, and you can ask me anything you like about X-Men: Dark Phoenix or Godzilla: King of Monsters.
Okay, cool. So let's keep with the same theme as to avoid spoilers, since I haven't seen either of those. But I'm very, very curious about Dark Phoenix. It was supposed to end with a huge bang, culmination of years of X-Men, X-Men movies, and so I hear the ratings aren't that great. Is that confirmed? It's not that good of a movie.
No, it's not. It's ridiculous. Uh I'll tell you this. I wasn't as disappointed as I watched X-Men Last Stand, but I wasn't blown away like when I watched Days of Future Past.
So I feel like you're kind of the X-Men expert here.
Ooh, I like the title, the sound of that.
Can you walk me through why these movies have felt so bumpy and so uncoordinated? Am I missing something? Is it the same directors throughout, or have they just been changing the screenwriters left and right? Like,
No,
what's
you're
going
correct.
on? High level.
It's had many parents. The whole franchise, it has many parents in these movies. The godfather of them all being Bryan Singer, and Bryan
Hmm.
Singer only came back for Days of Future Past, and then he left. So
That's why it
that's
was
why
so
Days
good.
of Future Past is so good, and I think he had a little hand in X-Men First Class as well.
Okay, those two movies I actually enjoyed quite a bit.
Yes. So and then
And and
it's
then everything. Go ahead.
it's just gone through the ringer since then. Fox doesn't know what to do with it. Give you a perfect example. The writer who penned Dark Phoenix also penned Last Stand, so he got a second chance in telling the Phoenix story,
Oh,
and it was better. I'll tell him that it was better, but it kind of misses the mark.
damn, man! What a disappointment. Do you think there's any? Okay, two questions. The first question is, do you think that they should take any else whatsoever, including cast, from the original X-Men movies and port them over to the MCU? Do you think they should? Or do you
Totally.
think start fresh? Oh, you say totally.
Well, I would say just keep Hugh Jackman as long as possible.
Keep Hugh Jackman as
Yeah,
long as possible.
keep him. I love Hugh Jackman. I love Patrick Stewart. Uh, I love Art Magneto, of course, and I do like when they did reboot it in First Class. I did like Michael Fassbender and James McAvoy, but that's okay if they don't come back. But I do suggest that they keep some of the classic people. I doubt they ever will. They can also start fresh. Also, uh, so if my suggestion for them is to start fresh, my two other side suggestions added on to that would be maybe no Wolverine right at first. Let's build up to
Okay.
Wolverine. We've seen a
Okay.
lot of Wolverine. The X-Men are comprised of more characters than Wolverine.
Yes.
Not that I don't like the character, but I was more fascinated with the other X-Men. And my other suggestion is the title should be called, when you get back there, should be called Uncanny X-Men.
Nice. Based on the comic book, I'm assuming that actually
Yes.
got it.
Tell you what, there is no end credit to it, but at the very end of the credits, the only ever fan service they ever did for Dark Phoenix is there's a little triumphant tune at the very end of the credits that kind of sounds like the animated show.
That's cool. That's exciting. I like that.
There were a couple fan service-y moments in the movie like that was like, that's what made me think, oh, this is better than Last Stand, but still not really good.
So let me ask you this other question. So the first question was, should they port over any of the actors, cast members? But the second question is kind of related, but do you think they should port over any of the storyline and keep it canon? Do you think it should just scrap all the stories and just start fresh, maybe with the same cast members?
That's a hard question. I would say if they are starting fresh, they just gotta go fresh and have all new people. I don't know there's anything to scrap. They were kind of hopeful with this one. I don't know why they kind of left it open-ended, just kind of like they did with Last Stand. And if you think back to Last Stand, it was kind of like it was really final when they left it a little bit open-ended, and Dark Phoenix is a little bit open-ended.
I guess I'm confused, dude.
I watched the movie and I'm also confused, Tony. I'm confused with the X-Men timeline as a whole.
Thank you, because I just feel retarded when I come to think about, like, wait, but they went back in time and they restarted everything, so what?
If you want the true ending, for me, the fan, the true ending to the X-Men timeline is, so I say there's two. So Days of Future Past was kind of the beginning of the end, because that was like a great sort of, that's a wonderful finale. They should have just went off on that and I would have been perfectly happy, but they didn't. That's okay. But the grand finale has to be Logan.
Yeah, I agree with that. And by the way, like, again, I'm feel really confused because of course I watched Logan years ago now, but it didn't feel like it tied in really. It almost felt like
it was its own thing and it was beautiful.
Yeah, I totally agree. I just feel like maybe they should disclaimer at the beginning says like 30 years in the future, or this movie is not related to the other movies. This is just its own independent version of what happens to Wolverine.
Yeah, so since it's so far in the future, it is the end, and it's definitely the end for Hugh Jackman, Wolverine, and everything. And what's great is there's some deleted scenes from Logan that connects it more to the franchise. Like one example is when he's waking up after getting the shit kicked out of him in the woods, and he's under the care of the children.
Yeah.
One of the children that is just watching him is playing with like a Wolverine figure and a Sabretooth figure.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
What?
Then, Wolverine makes some sort of comment like, "Oh, he wasn't that great in real life," or something like that.
Huh.
So it was really connected, but they made sure it was sort of its own thing.
Okay, my other question I have for Phoenix is, do I need to rewatch any of the movies to understand it, or it doesn't matter because it's so damn confusing anyway?
Did you see Days of Future Past and or Apocalypse?
Yes.
Then you're fine.
Okay. Actually, take that back. Did I see Apocalypse? I think I did, but it was so, like, I just probably erased it from my memory just because it was nothing.
You know what?
Really.
Apocalypse is a little bit better than this one.
That sucks, man.
And I'll tell you why. This one, it kind of went through the sort of rewriting sort of thing, because I think they had an original idea that they were going with. The one thing that stole its thunder was Captain Marvel. It's really weird to say that, but Captain Marvel stole Dark Phoenix's its thunder and even some of its story elements, I would imagine, because there's similar sort of enemies that in Dark Phoenix that you think, oh, these are probably something else.
Wait. Oh, I see what
Yeah,
you're
these
saying.
enemies are something else, and they had to completely rewrite this.
You know, it's funny because not gonna say anything, but never mind. I'm giving away too much. Moving on. Let's see. Are we ever gonna see Wolverine's classic yellow suit?
We did actually. That's another deleted scene. Let's dial it back to the
What?
Wolverine, a movie from God. What was this from? Like 2010, something like that. Did you ever watch the Wolverine, the movie where it is set in Japan?
Yes, I did. Again, that was a did we see it? Why?
Deleted scene from the very end. Actually, he boards the airplane. He boards the airplane with I forget what her name was. The friendly girl assassin that he meets, and she says she's his bodyguard, and she
Okay.
gives him a case, and he's like, "What's in the case?" And she was like, "Open it." And then he opens it, and it's his like yellow suit.
Oh man, they should have freaking like. I want to see him wearing it.
Yeah, they should have kept that. If he does get it reintroduced, 100%, I guarantee he's gonna have that yellow costume. We're gonna see, if not Hugh Jackman, another character in that yellow costume coming up.
Huh? That would be freaking tight. All right, so that movie.
Uh,
I go ahead. Is there anything
are
else you wanted
you?
to add?
So we've been talking about it, but are you like? Would you say you're a fan of that franchise ever since the very first X-Men movie?
Passively, I'm not gonna say it's my favorite, but some of the movies were badass, man. Like it sucks because I feel like like I was more of a fan of the X-Men before the movies came out, just because I feel like they've turned me off so much. Um,
Right.
but like there's definitely gems in there. It's just the whole thing feels unorganized and just I don't know if I want to invest that much time in it.
For those gems, because I think the Dark Phoenix does a good job. They kind of pay homage to the past. I would see just Dark Phoenix on that basis alone. That you kind
Yeah,
of like some of the movies in the franchise, and then you
right.
have to. I think you have to finish it.
Yeah. I
It's
think I
sad
think
because it's the ending. It's the ending we didn't want, but it's an ending.
I think we didn't deserve, but we got.
Exactly. It's like, oh. That's kind of,
Uh,
yeah. It's kind of my reaction. Uh, Sort of a roller coaster going down. My excitement going down throughout the movie, and it would pick back up with certain scenes, but they'll go back down again.
oh, that's a bummer. Damn. Yeah, it almost looks like God. I'm looking at this timeline somebody made for all the movies, and it's so damn confusing.
It
But
is.
wow,
But
this is
that's kind
crazy.
of what I liked about it too, because it got you talking, got fans talking about it and stuff. But
Oh,
now it's laid to
definitely.
rest, so it's really sad.
Yeah. So I'm gonna post this on the chat just so that you could take a look and see. Look at that. It's very confusing to me.
Yeah. So you can almost treat Wolverine's sort of life as its own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's it.
All right. Cool. Right on.
So how about Godzilla, King of All Monsters?
So is that movie? Okay. What is the most recent movie for Godzilla before that? Was that the Bryan Cranston one? The last
Yes,
one?
it connects to that one, definitely.
Oh,
And
it
it
does.
also connects majorly to the newest Kong movie, which is called Skull Island.
I wonder if I saw Skull Island. Okay.
Really good
I
Kong movie, really good reboot to Kong, I would say. It had Sam
I,
Jackson in it too. It had
I
Tom
think I
Hiddleston and even Brie Larson.
yeah, I think I did see it. I just can't remember it. But so, would you say this movie is worth watching?
Yes, 100%. So talk about from a franchise, from the X-Men franchise that was ending, now we're talking about a franchise that start is just getting started. This is definitely the first like Avengers movie for this monster franchise and timeline.
So there's going to be another one, presumably.
Oh yes, and they definitely lead up to it. This is the clashing of all monsters, but we never got to see a certain hairy gorilla, and I'm sure he's gonna show up in the next one.
Oh, damn, bummer. But so there's another baddie in this movie, but is it? It's still like very entertaining to watch.
So it does some great fan service to the old Godzilla movies, things that I would never imagine seeing it on a big screen again. So take it back to like the first Avenger movies. I never thought before that movie I would see all these superheroes coming together, but then we did, and we got used to it. So this is kind of like
Right.
that first Avengers movie where all these monsters come together, and just I never thought it'd be possible.
That's freaking cool, man. Do you so when you say all these different types of characters showing up, you never thought that'd be possible? Does that mean you have to kind of real the Godzilla lore to be able to fully enjoy this movie? Or can you?
No, but that lore will give you a lot more enjoyment from it. They explain everything in the movie itself, so these are crazy big ass monsters going at it.
Right on. So my favorite Godzilla, um, probably had to have been the 1998 version. I thought
Oh,
that was
nice.
I thought that was just a cool ass movie. Maybe because I was young and monster blowing up stuff was pretty cool. So would you
You
say
know
this
what?
is?
I was probably because that came out in our youth. I was right there with you. Um, but that took a lot of liberties, and this one is really good fan service.
Oh, okay, great. So would you say this is one of the best Godzilla movies, or would you say it's like right in the
Yes,
middle?
I'll tell you what. Too, are you a big Pacific Rim fan?
I did see it, but I wouldn't say I'm a huge fan. I liked it, but I don't know a lot about it,
This
even though I saw
blows
it.
that out of the water. It's just
Oh, hell yeah.
God.
Hell yeah.
Any
So
other big monster, big robot movie that's gonna come out now is gonna be compared to this one.
what? Holy crap, dude. All right, I gotta get the 4K version of this now just to see it in all its glory because I'm seeing reviews saying, "Oh, you must watch it on the big screen."
Yeah,
So,
I mean, yeah, yeah,
shit, this
kind of
is awesome.
necessary for it.
Damn,
You know,
damn,
I
damn.
still derived enjoyment from it.
Yeah, nice. So, okay, the new timeline they're doing, I guess, spoiler alert, not really, is they do want to have a culmination of a multiple monsters battle in some ultimate movie at some point.
Sweet. They already have with this one, and they can just keep on adding more if they'd like to.
Um, do you think that, okay, do you remember the, God, what was the name of that supposed trilogy that was going to include
Oh,
Dracula
yeah.
and the Mummy, and then it got
Yeah.
canned before it
Oh
even
my
started?
gosh.
Do you think that there's a risk of that happening here, or do you think they're going to move forward?
Not at all. This is pitch perfect right now. And like maybe the idea that they saved Kong and didn't add him to this movie, and that he's definitely going to be in the next movie because that's how you round out this trilogy. It's not even a trilogy now because if you include Skull Island, it would be the fourth film actually. So if Kong and Godzilla is the fourth film in this franchise, that's just going to be the perfect finale.
Damn. Yeah, the title I was thinking of there before was the Dark Universe that was supposed to have
Yeah.
happened, and they did all the marketing for it, including some pictures of the cast. But it's funny because
Did
it just
that
died.
start with The Mummy, or was there a movie before that that was supposed to go with it?
Yeah, it was the Mummy, but I guess because it was such a huge disappointment that they were gonna move on with the Invisible Man, but they didn't.
Oh my god, how sad. Imagine Just imagine if Iron Man, the very first Iron Man, did so poorly that we didn't have any of this.
Holy crap, man. That is a hell of a statement. What a different universe we'd be living in. Holy crap. That's a good ass example. Damn. I guess that would mean that the only like best superhero movies we would have got would have been probably the original Tobey Spider-Man and maybe X-Men.
Yep. Man.
And that's it. And then what the hell would we even be watching? It just feels like most of the content nowadays is just like superhero related. It's crazy.
Exactly. Yeah. So damn. Well, that was their Iron Man, was the Mummy, and it did so poorly. So that's what every studio is trying to do. They're trying to follow in Marvel's lead, and some of them are working exact like the Godzilla and what they're doing, but other ones are definitely not.
DC.
Yeah, I feel like we're getting a DC reboot pretty soon because I feel like
man,
they could just add in Aquaman and Wonder Woman to whatever else they're doing. I heard a rumor that the Flash is still going on, which I would highly doubt, but I heard a rumor that that's still happening.
I wonder how they're going to explain if they do continue with some Justice League film in the future. Obviously, it's not going to be Batfleck, so I wonder how they're going to like explain that, or they're just going to kind of ignore it. It'd be funny if they're like, "Well, Bats, you look a little different."
What if they did? Well, here's another Peter Tony fan theory. What if, to salvage it, they did kind of like the Days of Future Past sort of way, where they had a Flashpoint movie that sort of reboot everything?
That would be cool. But then why would you But wait, that makes sense up until you include some of the original cast members.
Yeah, I guess that's true. and we know Cavill and fucking
Ben Affleck
are out, so yeah, I have no
That's what I'm
idea.
saying. Like, well, I guess you could, right? You could just be like I said, it could be like a joke. Like, wow, like the other